A state officer goes ahead to besmirch the reputation and the efforts of a parliamentary committee, that is a matter which even you sitting as a speaker, you must demand an explanation, you must demand a retraction, you must demand an apology. I think for avoidance of doubt, so that the speaker knows what is being asked to comment on, we are going to play, I think, videos of some of the utterances that have been attributed to him, and it will be a simple exercise of him confirming whether it is true that he made those comments, the context within which he made those comments, and whether he stands by them or he wishes to retract them. Where is that? How long is this one?
The primary oversight authority katika
I'll start this.
sisi kama county assembly ambayo tunafaa kuwa ni the primary oversight authority katika county government. Hatujaona kama hii county government iko na shida. Na sijui watu wanatoka Nairobi, watu wanatoka Eldoret, wengine wanatoka Homa Bay huko mbali, wanakuja hapa alafu within 2 hours wanasema hii serikali ni serikali imekufa. Ama waliandikiwa script wakaambiwa wasome tu maneno. Mimi kama speaker ya Isiolo County Assembly, hakuna report mbaya katika executive imetufikia, and leader of majority hapa.
Mr. Speaker, are those utterances attributed to you?
Yes, Chair, those are my utterances.
Would you explain the context?
Well, I think I'm here as the chair of the County Assembly Service Board, not as the Speaker of the Isiolo County Assembly.
You cannot be chair if you're not the speaker. Those two roles are joined at the hip.
Yes, but the other one is political, and as far as, you know, the oversight role of this committee is concerned.
So you agree with those comments, you are not repentant, and you think that they were made properly?
It doesn't extend to oversight, legislative and representative role of the County Assembly. I stand with it.
Chair, could I please?
Speaker, what do you mean? Just for avoidance of doubt. I've told you to explain the context and to tell us whether you believe that what you said were right and proper.
I believe that it was right and proper.
Okay.
And that was a political statement.
Wanasema hii county ni banana republic. Wako na data mzuri ama wako wanapiga tu siasa? Siasa. Kuonyesha kama wanapiga siasa ama ni kweli? Siasa, vile mkono. Siasa. Siasa. Sisi kama county government ikiwa na executive na upande ya assembly, tumesema makelele ya kando kando hatutasikiza. Ile maoni tutasikiza ni ya raia ya nchi, tutasikiza ile shida wako nayo na tuendelee kutimiza hizo shida. Ile shida watu wanatoa kwa upande wa Eldoret, watu wanatoa upande ya Nairobi, wengine wanatoa Homa Bay, wanajaribu kutuletea hapa Isiolo, hatutakubali. Kwa hayo machache muendelee kusupport serikali.
Mr. Speaker, could you tell me the problems coming from Homa Bay to Isiolo, now that you say you stand with these comments?
The Chair, am I here to answer the questions?
Mr. Speaker, you either choose to answer the questions as put to you, or you exercise your right to remain silent, but we shall not entertain an exchange with the chair. You have said you stand with the remarks that you made, and in translation, you have said you are not going to accept problems from Homa Bay, from Nairobi, from Kericho. I'm the senator from Homa Bay. What kind of problems are coming from Homa Bay to Isiolo. If you choose to remain silent, you say, I choose to remain silent.
Yes.
You cannot just sit there like a statue.
I choose to remain silent on that.
From the demeanor of my good speaker and my friend, he came for war. Even the way he's talking on the...
Not at all, not at all.
Order, Speaker, allow the senators to make their comments.
Speaker should tell us whether he's working for the county executive or he is working for the county assembly. And as a speaker, naturally, the speaker should be neutral because county assembly or parliament has both sides of the aisle. There are people who support the government of the day. There are people who criticize. But as a speaker, you cannot take a position to say that. I know the speaker might have made that one for a particular audience, specifically for the governor, to be happy. But on this one, he must know as the speaker of the Isiolo County Assembly, he is the leader, that is the umpire of County Assembly. Chairman, realizing that the speaker is not interested in withdrawing or apologizing to the committee, I would request that so that we proceed. You know, human beings need sometimes to reflect. He can be given leave to go and reflect whether he wants to deal with Parliament or as a Senate, or he would want to abide by the rules and procedures of the House. Because, Speaker, in conclusion, in any instance, your committee summon CEOs, they summon within. You can imagine if the chief officer will disparage your MCS and wants to appear before the same committee, yet he has a low opinion or he doesn't believe that an institution of Isiolo County Assembly should be operating. We must respect each other as institutions. So, Speaker, I think through the chair, the Speaker, who is the Speaker, and I want to assist him because he's my good friend, that you would not be the chair of County Assembly Service Board if you are not a Speaker. You cannot be the chair of Senate Public Accounts Committee if you are not nominated or elected by the people of Homa Bay. You cannot be a member of this committee, Senator Dulo, if you are not elected by the people of Isiolo or you are nominated. So, those roles are intertwined. The president you cannot become the chief of defense forces without being the president of Kenya or commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So I think the speaker should allow to take leave, go and reflect. I know he came from Umrah, or was it? I saw him praying sometimes back, essentially. So he should go back and reflect on what it means well for this country. I thank you.
Okay, that was a lengthy submission. Any other submission before we give directives? Senator Mtata.
Honorable Speaker, you've really surprised me that you can purport to distinguish between a political statement and any other statement. And I would just like to read to you chapter 6. Article 73 and Article 75. Article 73:1, authority assigned to a state officer is a public trust to be exercised in a manner that is consistent with the purposes and objects of this Constitution, demonstrates respect for the people, brings honor to the nation and dignity to the office, promotes public confidence in the integrity of the office, and vests in the state officer the responsibility to serve the people rather than the power to rule them. And if you look at 2, the guiding principle of leadership and integrity does not distinguish between political and civil service. And as the Speaker of the Assembly, are you a political body? Or you are somehow an administrative organ? 1075 it says, 1C, a state officer shall behave, whether in public and official life, in private life, or in association with other persons, in a manner that avoids demeaning the office the officer holds. So when you say that what you said was political and therefore does not matter, I don't know where in the law you find that kind of distinction. Maybe you could help me. Because I'm really surprised that when a political podium gives you some immunity from accountability. I would love to know which law you are relying on to make that very, very broad statement. Kindly.
Speaker.
Chair, whatever has been said has been said. That is now past us. I wish to withdraw that statement wholly and apologize for us to move on.
Honorable members, I have looked at the Constitution, I have looked at statute, and I've looked at our standing orders. If the Speaker was a member of Parliament, I would be making a decision based on Standing Order 121 on disorderly conduct. But he is not a member of the Senate. Because he's relating with Parliament, I will refer him to the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act on prohibited acts in respect of Parliament and its members. And I find, despite what he's trying to frame as an apology, I find that some of the prohibited acts in respect of Parliament and its members, which is in Section 26 of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, a person shall not assault, obstruct, molest, or insult any member preceding to, being within, or leaving the presence of Parliament, or endeavor to compel any member by force, insult, or menace to declare himself or herself in favor of or against any proposition or matter pending or expected to be brought before Parliament or any committee. A plain reading of that prohibited act in the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act convinces me that you are in violation of that provision. But when it comes to the Constitution of Kenya, Senator Omtata has read the right sections of the law. And it's a matter of integrity. It's a matter of Chapter 6 on responsibilities of leadership, which must demonstrate respect for the people. It is not just for the people who support you, but it's respect for the people of the Republic of Kenya. Public trust must be exercised in a manner that brings honor to the nation and the dignity to the office that you hold of Speaker, and promotes public confidence in the integrity of that office. And in your conduct as a state officer, you are expected to behave, whether in public and official life, or in private life, or in association with other persons, in a manner that avoids any conflict between personal interest and public or official duties, etc., including demeaning the office the officer holds. Honorable Senators, as I said, if the Speaker was a member of the Senate, I would have applied Standing Order 121. What is coming out as an apology, my colleagues have talked of demeanor and body language. We do not take apologies for their sake. This committee will only take an apology and a retraction that is in writing. I will therefore modify the provisions of Standing Order 121 and direct that the Speaker vacates the presence of Senate and the presence of Parliament until and when he shall tender a written retraction and apology to the Senate. We shall also submit to the whole House a motion conveying this decision, where we'll be calling on the House to ensure that the Speaker does not appear before any other committee or any other service of the Senate until and when that retraction and apology is tendered in writing. I therefore instruct the Sergeant-at-Arms to make sure that the Speaker is led out of Parliament, and this meeting will not proceed until the Sergeant-at-Arms have reported that the Speaker is outside the presence of Parliament.